The Little Mermaid. Once upon a time, in the depths of the beautiful sea world, there lived a little mermaid. She was the youngest daughter of the king of the sea, and living in a crystal palace with the king and her beautiful sisters. She had beautiful long hair, sparkling blue eyes, and a charming voice. They all had bodies like you and me, but instead of legs, they had long fish tails. Our little mermaid and her sisters grew up with the magical stories about the people's world. But unfortunately, mermaids weren't allowed to swim up to the surface to see the world of people until they were 15. The little mermaid was the most curious one about people's world among her sisters. So she waited impatiently. At last, it was the little mermaid's 15th birthday. This was her most exciting day. Her father, the king, looked at her and said, "My little one, the time has arrived. Now you can go to the surface and discover. But don't be late." The little mermaid kissed her father and sisters and began the long swim to the surface. Up and up she swam and she saw the bright sunlight on the water. Then moments later she saw a sailing ship. She swam closer to the ship. When she got closer, she heard a beautiful sound. That should be music. These two-legged creatures, called humans, were dancing, talking, and laughing on the deck. All these attracted the little mermaid's attention. Suddenly, a handsome prince caught her eye. This must have been his birthday party because everyone was celebrating him. When he smiled to the people around him, his eyes seemed to light up the ship. Slowly, slowly, our little mermaid started to fall in love with him. "Hi, it is getting late," she sighed. "I must go back home and tell my father and sisters what I have seen." But at that moment, she heard a loud sound she had never heard before. This was a violent storm. The thunder roared and the lightning flashed one after another. That beautiful sea started to swell. The princess' ship started to lurch with the raging waves. Finally, a giant wave swallowed the ship. The little mermaid started to search for the prince. He was underwater. From those magical stories, the little mermaid knew that people cannot live underwater. She swam to the prince, carried him to the surface. He was very weak to move or open his eyes, but at least he was still alive. She laid him on the sand. Just then, she saw some girls walking towards them. They shouldn't have seen the little mermaid, so she had to run away. Before she dived, she checked the shore one more time. Those girls were helping the prince. Days passed. Little Mermaid couldn't stop thinking about the prince and his world. So she made a big decision and visited the sea witch. When the sea witch saw her, she said, "I know why you have come, my sweet child. You want legs instead of your tail and marry your prince." The little mermaid replied, "Yes, madam. Can you help me?" The witch said, "Yes, I can, but it will hurt." The little mermaid accepted everything. Then the witch gave her a potion to drink. After that potion, her tail would turn into legs. The witch warned her again and said, after you drink this potion, you cannot be a mermaid again. And if the prince fall in love with someone else, the day after he marries, you will turn into bubbles floating on the sea. And one more thing. For the potion, I need to take your charming voice. The little mermaid unwillingly accepted all these conditions. This was the only way to live with the prince. The next day, when she reached to the surface, she opened the bottle and drank the potion. The pain was so strong that she fainted. When she opened her eyes, the prince was looking at her. She was so beautiful. She quickly became the prince's favorite person, although she never spoke. The little mermaid was the happiest person on the earth. One day, the prince told her how much he cared for her, but he was going to marry a princess who saved his life. Mermaid couldn't tell the prince that it was her who had saved him. She was very, very sad. The night before the wedding day, she went to the seashore. She was thinking what the sea witch told her. She knew that this was her last night alive. Suddenly, from the sea, 5 figures rose up. These were the little mermaid sisters. Quick, you can still save yourself, said the oldest sister. Plunge this knife into Prince's heart. When his warm blood touches your feet, they will turn into a tail again. Hurry up, little sister. But the little mermaid couldn't do it. In the wedding day, there was no sign from the little mermaid. Prince looked at everywhere but couldn't find her. He got so upset. After the wedding ceremony, at night, the prince went to the seashore, looked at the bubbles on the waves. The bubbles were shining. He almost thought that he saw the little mermaid's face. The end. My dear sweet listeners, being kind and caring for others, even when it is hard, is a beautiful thing. Sometimes love means letting go. When we choose to do good, we grow stronger in our hearts. I love you all. Hi, my sweet little ones. Now you know what to do. Let's look at our pictures and create our own story.